First Things First is sponsored by Gillette, the best a man can get.
Welcome in to First Things First. I'm Sarah Kustak, filling in for Jenna Wolf. That's the Hall of Famer, Cris Carter. That's Nick Wright. Guys,
great to see you. Thank you, Sarah.
Hey, I appreciate it.
Good to see you. Great football weekend.
It
got some basketball.
Great job on the call this weekend, Sarah.
Yeah,
oh, thank you.
Awesome.
Glad to be back at home. Back at home. Well, I was back in Ohio, but now I'm back.
Second home.
We're glad to have you back.
All right, let's get it.
I know, because we have got a big show today. The Patriots lost in a thriller. The Steelers are losing to everybody. But we start with the Eagles and the Cowboys. Dak Prescott was trying to make it 5 wins in a row for Dallas. And in the fourth quarter, the game tied at 16. He finds a streaking Amari Cooper for the touchdown. And the fourth quarter was where it got good. The Eagles would respond. Carson Wentz hits Nelson Aguilar on the deep pass here. Pretty little play for the Eagles. And Darren Sproles would even up the score with less than 2 minutes to go. So we'd head to overtime. Less than 4 minutes left. 4th and 1. Zeke barely picks up the 4th down. 3 plays later, ball deflected. Cooper grabs it, takes it into the end zone for the game winner. Cowboys win their 5th in a row. Dak with over 450 yards passing, and Cooper with over 200 yards receiving. Here he is after the game.
I mean, I've been running a lot of slant routes since I got here. I beat these guys on a lot of slant routes when we first played them. That guy knew I was running the slant. So I just stayed with the ball, and thank God. Thank God.
Thankful for this team we have, this team, this coaching staff, and be able to just to continue to fight. And when things were up, things were down, a team that never wavered, that never blinked, that never doubted us coming out on top. I'm thankful for that, honestly.
3, 2.
All right, Nick, how impressive was the Cowboys win?
Listen, it clinches the division, all but officially. They would have to go 0-3, and the Eagles would have to go 3-0. So they're going to win the division, and they did it in the context of, I thought they were going to win the game when the fourth quarter started. I thought they were going to win the game the way they won the Saints game, except instead of being 13-10, I thought it was going to be 12-9, where the defense is great and the offense is mediocre to bad, and they overcome it. Going into the fourth quarter, Dak was having his worst game of the season. He had 3 turnovers. They couldn't get anything going. 3 of their points were on a 62-yard field goal at the end of the first half. And then Dak and the offense flipped from the worst game they had played all year to what I consider their best passing game since the playoff loss to Green Bay. See, when Dak and that offense went toe-to-toe with Aaron Rodgers and just ran out of time at the end. It wasn't shocking Dallas won. It was shocking to me the way they won. And I have to give you credit in this regard, and I'm careful to give you credit because sometimes when I compliment you on football, you're like, oh, surprised I know some football. But so, yeah. Go ahead.
He's going on the Robert Smith thing that I told him. I scored a touchdown one time and just made an unbelievable catch. Came to the huddle. Robert Smith's like, that was an unbelievable catch. And I got a little hasty with him. Was like, that's what I'm supposed to do. So.
See, he's not always the easiest guy to compliment is my point. But there is very few things the sports media is unanimous on. And there was one thing that this football season, everyone aside from Cris Carter has been unanimous on. The Cowboys overpaid for Amari Cooper. What were they thinking trading a first-round pick for Amari Cooper? And acquiring Amari Cooper seems to have turned their season around, and he looks like a guy who absolutely is worth a first-round pick in this league. And that he was the difference along with Dak in the fourth quarter when their defense all of a sudden got a little shaky, and the Cowboys got their biggest and most important win of the year.
Yeah, it's not a matter of trying to give me credit. It's just I have a great deal of faith in Amari Cooper. And forget the football player, but just who the kid is, his goals that he wants in life from a very, very young age. He's very, very reserved. He's not a diva wide receiver. He left Miami and all those schools in Florida where he was raised to go to Alabama to play football because he knew it was going to be the hardest but the best for him. Alabama didn't have a bunch of quarterbacks and everything, but his mentality was, I want to be the best I can be. This is best for me. And Amari's one of those kind of kids. He always wants to make his parents or his coaches happy. And when he was in Oakland and he was struggling with catching the football, man, it played a huge part in his psyche. It played a huge part, took away his confidence. And now you can see, because Jerry Jones and Jason Garrett, they called Nick Saban. That was the #1 thing they did, and that they called Nick Saban to find out, what does this kid need? And since he's been to Dallas, they have been doing the types of things and getting him the football, but he's a big-time player. Like, absent of, you know, maybe a half season in Oakland, I mean, but a lot of players have gone to Oakland and their careers have gone a different way. Oakland's not the place where it used to be, where an old veteran could go there or something and resurrect his career. It's different now. So Amari's like a lot of people. He just needs confidence, and he needs someone to believe in him. And you have to be able to coach him not coddle him, but also, he wants to be coached hard. But it's important for him that people believe in him, and that's what Dallas get, and that's the results that we're seeing from his play on the field. Very, very happy for him. You got a good friend, right, Colin Cowherd?
Yes.
What does he say about the wide receivers?
What? Well, he said he's coming around.
No. Tell me what he said about the wide receivers.
That they're not the cake; they're just the icing on the cake.
Okay. Well, how's the cake in Dallas?
To Nick or to you?
He said it to C, and now he says he's coming around. But go ahead.
Yeah. No one wants cake without icing. All right, look at the Dallas Cowboys.
That's part of the cake.
Thank you.
Don't let anyone tell you
So
different.
Colin Cowherd, eat that one. It's great to see, because you can play football without wide receivers, but let's try to score some points. Let's try to run the ball up and down the field on people, and you watch how many times and how many mistakes that that they'll make. So very, very happy for the Cowboys. They pulled the trigger on it, and it's really, really, it's precious to see someone who you know went through something, and now you see him come out on the other side, and this is who he is as a player. This is not some type of hot streak or something. He's a Pro Bowl player. He should be a perennial Pro Bowler, and I would challenge people. You give me 3 receivers in the NFL that run better routes than Amari Cooper.
And you know what's funny? Maybe the worst route he ran all night was the game-winning touchdown.
Yeah,
right?
Great pickup there.
Yes. I saw it in real time, and I thought I knew it, but then you came in this morning and you confirmed it. He's not supposed to let the defensive back in on his inside shoulder there. He does, and they got fortunate there. But you know what? That's what happens. Sometimes, you know, fortune favors the bold is what they say sometimes. Jason Garrett went for it on 4th and 1 in overtime instead of kicking the field goal and relying on the defense. Like, all of a sudden you're taking shots downfield. This could have been a pick 6 the other way, and then we're killing Dak because of his 4th turnover. They got lucky there, and Amari made a big play.
And Sarah, I think that you'll enjoy the preparation. He knew as an athlete, I've been doing this to a guy. It's like basketball. I've been doing a guy, I've been crossing him over. He's going to be ready for that, but I'm still going to go to my move because he stuck with the game plan. If Amari goes behind that defensive back, he picks it off and goes to the house. The guys inside got great leverage, does everything that he's taught to be able to do, just does not finish the play. Cowboys are very, very fortunate. I'm glad Amari witnessed, though, the reason why that guy was inside, because he's been beating him. I'm glad he made body contact. That's what was able to save the play. Very, very fortunate for the Cowboys.
So, with all that being said, did Dallas make themselves contenders in the NFC?
At this point, I have to take them seriously. At 3 and 5, they were dead to me.
Yep.
But it's not just that they've won 5 in a row, but how they've done it. So they've now in the last 2 weeks shown you we can beat one of the best teams in the league by choking them out.
Yes.
And we can get late in the game in a shootout where all of a sudden our defense, they showed you in the 4th quarter they could win a game where their defense plays poorly.
Yes.
Because the defense played great for 3 quarters, but can we just show real quick what Dak did? First 3 quarters versus the 4th quarter in overtime. Through 3 quarters, this is one of the worst games he had all season of his career. 3 turnovers, a 65 rating. The team had 9 points. And then in the 4th quarter in overtime, 243 yards. He hadn't had 3 touchdowns in a game all year. He had 3 touchdowns in the 4th quarter in overtime, a near perfect passer rating, completing 85% of his passes. He was great, and the offense was great.
The defense matched with that running game is always going to be winning football in the NFL. When you can be that physical in the trenches, it's always a good recipe. But what they've done with adding Amari Cooper, they've added great variance to how many different ways they can win. Amari and the other receiving corps, very, very quiet. Dak catches fire. The wide receivers catch fire in the 4th quarter. What I like about the team now is you can be a powerful team. But when you get in the playoffs, man, the playoff games are played fast. And this Dallas offense is as fast as the Dallas offense I've seen in a long time. When you add Michael Gallup on the outside, Amari Cooper with his ability to run slants, catch those and run off, and Amari is an is an awesome deep threat also. So as they come down the stretch, Dak and Michael Gallup, Dak and Amari Cooper, if they can just time up a few more of those outside throws that Dak has not been great at, this Cowboys team is very, very dangerous. We know they can play that stranglehold of a defense, but you add those big plays, you add those explosive plays, you add the fear that those young wide receivers with their speed on the outside, they can put into that defense. Yes, they are contenders in this year's Super Bowl.
All right, time now for Put a Grade on It, sponsored by CarMax. Dak Prescott had an interesting day, throwing for over 450 yards and 3